Hey America, remember that time you bought something online at 3 a.m. because you swore you needed it, only to regret it when your credit card bill arrived? Well, imagine doing that as a country, but instead of a waffle iron, it's like fighter jets and infrastructure projects. That, my friends, is the national deficit in a nutshell. It's the difference between what the government spends in a year and what it takes in through taxes. Now, a little deficit isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes, like during a recession, the government needs to spend more to stimulate the economy, even if it means borrowing a bit. But when we're constantly racking up debt year after year, it becomes a problem. Think of it like this. You wouldn't want to be paying off your Christmas shopping spree from 2017 for the rest of your life, would you? That's kind of what we're doing as a nation. We're essentially maxing out Uncle Sam's credit card and leaving future generations to deal with the consequences. And those consequences, my friends, are not pretty. So, how does this giant pile of debt actually affect you, the average Joe or Jane just trying to make ends meet? Well, buckle up, because this is where things get real. First off, a large deficit can lead to higher interest rates. Think about it. If you're a lender and you're worried about someone not paying you back, you're going to charge them a higher interest rate to compensate for the risk. The same goes for countries. When the US has a large deficit, it has to offer higher interest rates to convince investors to lend it money. These higher interest rates then trickle down to everything from mortgages and car loans to student loans and credit card debt, making it more expensive for everyone to borrow money. That means less money in your pocket to spend on things like vacations, new clothes, or, basic necessities. But wait, there's more. A high deficit can also slow down economic growth. When the government is spending a lot of money on interest payments, that's money that can't be used for other things like investing in education, infrastructure, or research and development. This lack of investment can lead to fewer job opportunities, stagnant wages, and an overall weaker economy. So, even if you're not directly affected by higher interest rates, you'll likely feel the pinch of a sluggish economy in other ways. Remember that dream job you were hoping for? Or that new car you've been saving up for? Well, a high national deficit might just make those dreams a little harder to achieve. As we've established, a large deficit can lead to higher interest rates. This means that taking out a loan for that new car or that dream home becomes more expensive, making it harder for people to make those big purchases. And when consumer spending goes down, businesses feel the pinch too, potentially leading to layoffs and a weaker job market. But the pain doesn't stop there. A high deficit can also contribute to inflation, which is a fancy way of saying that things get more expensive over time. When the government borrows a lot of money, it increases the demand for credit, which can drive up prices. This means that the money you earn today won't buy as much tomorrow, eroding your purchasing power and making it harder to afford everyday necessities like food, gas, and housing. In short, a high national deficit can make it harder for you to achieve your financial goals, both big and small. Let's put a human face on this whole deficit thing, shall we? Imagine two families, the Smiths and the Joneses. Both families work hard and pay their taxes, but they feel the effects of the national deficit in different ways. The Smiths are a young couple just starting out. They're trying to buy their first home, but the high interest rates caused by the deficit make their monthly mortgage payments astronomical. They're stuck renting, unable to build equity and achieve their dream of home ownership. Meanwhile, the Joneses are nearing retirement. They've worked hard their whole lives and saved diligently for their golden years. But inflation, fueled in part by the deficit, is eating away at their savings. The cost of living keeps rising, and they're worried about making ends meet on a fixed income. These are just two examples of how the national deficit can impact everyday Americans. It's not just an abstract economic concept. It has real consequences for real people, making it harder for them to achieve their financial goals and live their best lives.